Yeah, I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat. Yo, grew my hair and took the grill out. Think it's time to put it back in. Trying to get into that big house, turn the crib into the mansion. Needed something with that big bounce. You know I had to hit Jackson. Aaron Rodgers with the quick routes. I'm with the gang, we packing. We on the field at Lambo. Might peel in a Lambo. Running drills in my camo. They know what the M stand for. Still got fam in Hawaii, yeah. Couple fans in the lobby, yeah. Couple grand in my pocket, yeah. Couple grams of wasabi, yeah. Eye it up, no glasses. Light it up, no matches. Wife it up, no ratchets. Might turn my wife to an actress. And we gon' make a movie, no Kim K. Give a fuck about what your friends say. I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
I'm just sticking to the code, I keep it so G. She asked me what I smoke, I'm smoking OG. I don't fuck with too many, only catch me 4 deep. Gotta stay away from snakes, swear these people so creep. I've been grinding for a minute, many labels so sleep. These rappers drop a song, be hot for about a week. I put Gucci on my toes, I keep some cold feet. I ain't paying for no home, you niggas know me. I'm about to body the beat. I keep me a hottie with me. She wanna for a fee. Give me that for free. Keep me some money on me. Smoking the gas, keep. You with me, sheesh. But need cheap keep.
I got money on my phone and money on me. I got all these hoes, but still lonely. They been blowing on that strong, but still so weak. I've been high in a drone, but still low-key. We been sitting on the floor, they in the nosebleeds. Lately I've been in control, they can't control me. Yeah, they about to get exposed for being so cheap. I've been sticking to the code and I ain't gon' cheat.
Yeah, head up in the clouds, dog, they saying I look stressed. I've been feeling down, pray to God that I'm up next. Remember when she blew me off, that's why I can't text. Now she call me petty, but I swear I can't forget. This ain't a test, now they saying that I ball like Jerry West. Coming back for what is mine, can't take no less. I said go and take a shot, so I need your best. And stop the threats, don't know what is in me. I don't got time, I'm not giving the energy. Too many people around me, I'm finicky. I do not mess with you, dog, you're not kidding me. You don't got way too close. I've been up at the top now, so they all wait for the landslide. I seen too many people that switched up, whose man's high. Through it all, I stay the same, I swear to God, I can't lie. Been down so damn low that I came up for my life. They talk way too much on the internet, it's not real life. I swear my fam waiting, I can't lose and I'm still right. Still right, I swear that I'm working them up till like midnight. It's real life, I got a time and I'm coming to get mine. In time, I cannot lose and I'm coming right inside. I'm in my, yeah. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it, now I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late. Seen them down bad, now they tryna hate. Same ones try to hit me for the raise. Got a mill, now they coming with a blaze. Check the numbers fam, I swear I'm getting paid. I'm a Don just like the Perrier. It's one time when I'm looking at a face. On the low like I'm pushing up the bass. check and I buy myself a place. They get some money and they blow it on bait. I don't flex, but I'm pushing all the weight. Told them all, I swear I got it's what it takes. Phone started jumping, what a day. Swear to God I need it now, I can't afford to wait. I just had a fan hit me up from Kuwait. Told him this would happen and we not a minute late.
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like. Yeah, you about to see me on demand like. You know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll. And it's time to run it up, yeah, you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor. Ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll. Ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah. On the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On the road, here we go, here we go.
What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Frankie Candles and Mrs. Candles live stream every single weekday right here at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Guys, I'm trying to keep the market pumped up here, keeping some air in Mrs. Candles. But what is going on, Mafia? Thank you guys for tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here and spending your precious time with your boy Frankie Candles and the Candle Mafia, the best crypto mafia in the world. But guys, we got a lot to talk about on tonight's live stream. We got Bitcoin approaching all-time highs as dominance is rejecting the key resistance that we have been looking for. Are we about to see the altcoin start to move? You guys see the green in the market. Is it something to take seriously, or are we just going to get slammed back to the downside? Obviously, as you guys know, I am bullish here on Bitcoin as we have broken out of our macro value area high. We got the push up towards all-time highs. Are we actually going to see that come in? If we do, you guys know the targets that we're looking at, but I want to show you kind of what I'm looking at as far as price action develops. I want to talk to you guys about exactly what I'm looking for here. If we do get a pullback, where can we get the bounces from? And yeah, we got it. We got some exciting price action here, guys. So we got a lot to talk about. Shout out to the Candle Mafia. Thank you guys for being here. Don't forget to smash that like button. Every 100 likes we get gives you guys some extra chances to win some free crypto on Friday night's live stream. If we get 1,000 likes on tonight's live stream, I will give away $150 in Solana to one lucky Candle Mafia member. Let's see here. Let's see what we got in chat. We got Jay Violet. What is going on? Who just recently had a birthday. Happy birthday, Jay Violet. We got Crimson in the chat. Shout out to Crimson. Said, tell me my rotation from Solana to ETH today was a smart move. Shout out to Crimson. I want to take a look at Ethereum today, guys. We'll take a look at some of the altcoins, obviously Bitcoin. And I want to take a look at the dominance and some higher time frames that could be pointing to some higher prices for Bitcoin, guys. We got a lot of bullish signals here on Market Cypher B, or at least a couple of bullish signals on Market Cypher B, specifically on the much higher time frames. You guys know what I'm talking about. It's that 2-day and the monthly is potentially signaling another leg up into new all-time highs. So it's really exciting. Shout out to Gibby. Welcome in. Said, I smell major volatility tomorrow. We got CPI and trade news with Asia. Could get crazy. Shout out to Gibby. And as you guys know, although I am bullish, right, this does not mean that there's any guarantee that we get the move. We're just going to give you guys the raw information. I give you guys the straight info, the data. The numbers do not lie, guys. The chart is the truth. We're going to show you what I'm looking at that makes me feel this way. But just understand, volatility is very likely. But yeah, it looks pretty good in my opinion. Shout out to Nick P. We'll see what happens tomorrow. Shout out to Nick P. When Only Fibs channel. Pulling our fib on the internet for views. God, oh man, what does my life come to? But shout out to Priyochi. Shout out to Priyochi. We got Mark Dutch in the chat said, wait, what? She had a birthday? Why didn't she share? Shout out to Jay Violet. She did share. I actually sang happy birthday to her. Am I getting the names mixed up? Am I tripping? Jay Violet, let me know in the chat. But let's see. We got CandleMafia John Cena. We got Rollins 420 says, ice, baby. Let's go. Let's see. We got Dave Hagan in the chat. Guys, shout out to our mods. Show them some love in the chat. They help us out endlessly with this YouTube channel. If you love them as much as we do, show them some love. And if you want to show them extra love, smash that like button. 1,000 likes. We're giving away $150 in Solana on Friday night's live stream. But without further ado, guys, we got a lot to look at on the charts. So let's go ahead and jump on into the charts. Let's get into it. All right. So here we are, guys. Shout out to Mark Dutch. All right, so here we are on the Bitcoin chart. Obviously, this is where you want to look at Bitcoin. But as you guys know, we have broken out. Last week, what we were looking at, guys, we looked at that breakout of the value area high as a very, very, very bullish signal. I'm going to kind of, oh, wow, I almost said something brutally inappropriate there. But we have this, I'm just going to kind of like, I almost said it again. Whatever, I'm going to. I can't say it. I'm not going to say it, guys. We try to be a family-friendly show, but I'm just going to kind of, I'll say freeball. I'll freeball this trend line here. You guys know we have this major resistance of this trend line with some local Fibonacci retracements and the value area high of our macro range. We knew if we did not get the rejection there over the weekend, it was a little bit dangerous as we did have that weekly red dot looking to print. It did not print. We broke out of that value area high. That was our first sign of strength to look for a move up to about 107,100. And then once we got up inside that value area low of the upper range, and we flipped that value area low to support, guys, that is where we were looking for a push up into our next major resistance level, which we literally did not respect at all yesterday. We shot right through that into the value area high. Just goes to show, even with strong resistance in the volume profile, guys, the volume profile theory from the low to the POC to the high usually does prevail. And now we're kind of just bing-bonging around here today. And I am being very, very picky with the trades this week. Actually, recently, I've been pretty picky with the trades. But I want to talk about what I'm expecting next year. Now, obviously, guys, we can get pullbacks here. I'm going to talk about those key levels of resistance. But first off, I want to start here on the higher time frames. Obviously, the only kind of bearish puzzle piece that we have that I am a little bit, not concerned, but a little bit skeptical of here is that weekly red dot. Now, is a weekly red dot the most bearish signal ever? Not really. It is a high time frame bearish signal, but it does not necessarily indicate that we're going to get a massive, massive drop to the downside. However, they can just give us a little bit of turbulence here. You know, this red dot gave us a little cool off before we put in the lower high, but we were in a little bit of a different spot in the market here after we put in this higher low, guys. This area that we put that higher low in, there's many, many reasons why I feel really good about this, because the 786 we bounced off of was a major level to put in a higher low before finally seeing a higher high, which we did get. But I do see this potentially continuing based off the Market Cypher B bullish signals that we have. But there's many things here, right? We got through this volume profile. We're breaking out of it with our higher time frame money flow crossing over into the green. On the 2-day here, you guys know that's that high time frame bullish signal we're looking at, not just the 2-day money flow crossover, but we do have that Heikinashi green dot printing as well. That is a Market Cypher B 1/16th bullish setup, which every other time it's happened, guys, I've talked about this many a times over the past few days and weeks. You know, every time we've seen those monthly green dots print with a 2-day money flow crossover, we have gotten those next legs to the upside. It happened right here. It happened right here. Is it about? It even happened here a little bit. Is it about to happen again, and are we going to shoot off into new all-time highs? I've actually been looking at a couple of other things that make me feel good about that as well. But as we know, you know, the markets can go up and down. So I will say this, right? The major level of resistance that obviously we want to stay above is that macro 786. We took a look at this over the past couple of weeks. Whoops, that's not it. Let me pull up into a lower time frame here. And we'll pull it right here, right? So from the high to the low, you guys can see here, we wicked up to that 786. This is, right, we are either going to get another pullback, or we are going to flip this level to support. This is what I'm looking at to call for new all-time highs. If we're able to reclaim the if we're able to reclaim this 786, and on the higher time frames, it is pulled from this high to the low, right? This 786 we are playing on, and you can see we did flip that to support very slightly. This is the 786 we've been looking at. This is the local 786. Once we crack above this 786, though, I think we are obviously going to take this high here at about 111,000, the high that we made yesterday. But at that point, guys, we're getting so close to the previous all-time high. We do have liquidity sitting up there. We do have some shorts that we're looking at higher prices, but again, any short right now is going to be looked at as a scalp until proven otherwise. So the two major levels, I'll talk about the local level in a minute, but the major level here, guys, is if we can continue to hold support above this 786, guys, this is the level that's going to open up the door to new all-time highs, because if we're going to put in that lower high, we'll see what happens, right? We can get a little turbulence here potentially, but if we get a major high time frame rejection, if we get weekly candle closes below this 786, I'll pull up the weekly here so you can kind of see what that'll look like, right? Depending on what happens this week, if we wind up, maybe we come up, maybe we come down, right? But if we wind up closing the weekly candles below this Fibonacci retracement, this is really the only thing I would look at to potentially look for that bigger retracement to break the low into about $97,000, which is a level that we've been looking at forever on the channel. We have the point of control of the macro range down there. You guys know all about that level. I'm not going to cover it that much tonight, but I will say, we are up against this major resistance, approaching those all-time highs, just fighting that 786. So really what I want to see by the end of the week is a weekly candle closure above this level. That'll make me feel really, really good. And hey, if we can get above there, on the lower time frames and just scoot on up to all-time highs, that would be even better. Maybe we won't even have to close the candle down there. But that is really the line in the sand, guys, because if you're going to put that lower high in, that 786 is going to be the level to do it at. And if we don't do it, that's where you look for all-time highs. So very, very nice to see here. Bitcoin is showing strength, and then you have the 2-day money flow crossover. You also have the 2-day green dot, which did confirm with our 4-hour money flow crossover into the green, which is another market cipher B 116 strategy. You got the lower time frame market cipher B bullish setups. You have the higher time frame with the monthly green dot and the 2-day money flow crossover, on top of the fact that do I want to show this? I might make a pre-record about this, but I do have a new chart here that I'm looking at. Shout out to Benjamin Cowan. I don't watch pretty much any YouTube content on crypto, but he popped up on my page I think earlier today, and he was talking about the bull market support band, and it made me just kind of pull it up. I haven't looked at it in a while, and there are some really, really, really interesting signs with the bull market support band and money flow that could also align with what we're looking at, two higher targets here into new all-time highs, potentially to 115K, 120K, 130, 140, 150, who knows? But we know those targets. We looked at them yesterday. I kind of just said them there as well. But maybe I'll make a video about this and what I'm looking at here and why it is so interesting to me. But overall, guys, I'm going to go over the local levels now. The only thing that I can see, right, because technically you could put the lower high in here at the end of the day, right? Anything can happen, even with the market cipher B bullish setups. These could get stepped on technically, but you just got to pick up those bullish puzzle pieces and the bearish puzzle pieces and then figure out which one is the higher probability. And I would say right now, you do have some more bullish signs. It's really just that weekly red dot, which we all know is also a bearish divergence. If it does print, you do have your higher highs on price action. You do have your lower highs on your momentum waves. That could be a bearish divergence. So, until we decisively break above that 786, there is an opportunity to get that lower high to come in and then get that bigger drop to the downside. Again, targeting not 66K, targeting around not even 92K, targeting around 97K. And that's not going to make me bearish on Bitcoin long term. It would just mean we'd have to endure, there might just be a little bit more kind of, bing-bonging around that we might have to do before we get that takeoff, right? But again, we have dominance coming down, rejecting our, let me pull that up, BTC.D. You guys can see here, we have been looking at this for quite some time. I can really tell you how long we have been looking at it from. Ever since we put this low in right here, right? We've been looking at that 786 golden pocket, similar to what we're looking at on Bitcoin, right? If you're going to put in the high, the low, the lower high, and then a lower low here to get a bigger drop on Bitcoin dominance, this is the area to do it at. And we came up, kissed that 786, and we have gotten a nice drop to the downside here, which, I wouldn't say, we're coming into the POC. Actually, at the end of the day, we're kind of rejecting that POC right now. If we can get stuck under this POC, lose that golden pocket, guys, that would be a very good sign for the altcoins. This is something we've been looking at forever. And we came up to the golden pocket, didn't get the drop. Oh, thought we were going to get it again. And then eventually we did come up to that 786. And this is really the level on dominance. If you have altcoins, this is the level that you do not want to break, right? Because if you break that 786, the next level for Bitcoin dominance is going to be 66.21%, right? And that's not going to be good for alts. And we have to entertain every scenario here because we don't know exactly what's going to happen. The markets are crazy, but very nice to see that rejection at the 786 with that big drop to the downside. Let's see if we can lose that POC, get that bigger drop down towards the value area low. And then this will be like local support. But at the end of the day here, guys, we have the 10-hour money flow coming down towards that zero line, looking to cross over into the red. This would be very nice if we want to continue the overall downtrend on dominance. And then taking a look at the daily here as well, we have that daily red dot. Oh, man, and money flow coming out. If we can get that money flow to continue out here, guys, that would be very good for dominance, very good for the altcoins. And at the same time, guys, we are seeing Ethereum try to approach our next target to the upside that we looked at yesterday at about $2,819. This is, just a local level of resistance. My next real main target for Ethereum is going to be between $3,000 and $3,100, where we have the daily naked point of control as well as the golden pocket confluence. This is a huge target on Ethereum, guys, and I'm going to dig into this a little bit deeper, but I just kind of wanted to show that as we look at Bitcoin dominance as it relates to Ethereum getting a little bit of a potential breakout here. And it's not just the fact that we're getting the pullback on dominance, right? It's also the fact that you have the money flow coming out, potentially indicating that that trend will continue to the downside. And again, with the stuff we're seeing on Bitcoin, it all does kind of line up for another leg to the upside. And I don't want to create FOMO, right? Again, we can get the drop. We really have to close that weekly candle. If it starts to get fishy down there, like if we start to lose that, let me pull that back up, right? If we start to lose this 786 during the week, I'm okay, right? I keep pulling the wrong 786 here. Bada boom, right? So if we take a look at this from the high to the low, it's okay to get the cool off. I've shown this looking at previous price actions, similar situations to this where we kind of lose it, we regain it, we lose it, we regain it, but the higher time frames held it as support. It's okay to break down below it locally, right? This is not going to make me feel super, super bearish. Now we're back above it, right? That makes sense. So, it's okay if we get like little local pullbacks, but as long as we close that weekly candle up there, all this stuff is starting to line up, not only for Bitcoin to send into new all-time highs, but also Ethereum and potentially some of the altcoins. We looked at a lot of signals on the altcoins recently, dating all the way back to, not dating all the way back to, but we had all the 8-hour bullish divergences. Hopefully it's here on Dogecoin. Yeah, we had the 8-hour bullish divergence. We were looking at this as price action was bing-bonging around here on a lot of the alts, looking to make another low and a higher low. We literally front-ran that bullish divergence all the way back here, saying, hey, if we get another drop to the downside, we could print an 8-hour bullish divergence because we had key levels down here, and all those altcoins have come into those key levels with the 8-hour bull divs, which as of right now is a good sign, right? Again, anything can change here, but we're just giving you the information here, and it does look pretty good. So that's really what I'm looking at in the long term. As long as that weekly red dot doesn't print and we reject that 786, that's really the only situation that I can see where we get that drop down to $97,000. Now, if we drop down to the lower time frames here, I'm going to pull up some of these local levels. As you guys know, we look for that flip of the value area low to push into the POC and the value area high. Now we're bing-bonging around. If we do come back down here, guys, I am simply, right, any time that we're looking for a cool-off here, really what I'm looking for is the Fibonacci retracements, right? If we're going to come down, put in a higher low, continue that rise to the upside, we do have golden pocket confluence on this value area low, which is pretty nice, right? I wouldn't say this is like the strongest level, but this would be like number one, right? This is the new volume profile, not new. This is a previous volume profile from up here. We use this to catch the short position from about 109,500 in the premium Discord for the big drop to the downside, but we just extend those levels all the way to the right, and then that does give us this beautiful range that helped us identify this move to the upside. So if we do, I'm going to treat this as a typical range, guys. We deviate above. We might find some short setups here if we are going to get that drop back to the downside. But overall, even if we do cool off down here, I'm going to be looking at this as a volume profile, come down to that value area low golden pocket, potentially bing bong on that Fibonacci retracement, maybe even deviate below slightly. But that is an area where I will be looking for bounces. Golden pocket, value area low, and then the 786 does live slightly below that at about 106,481. This is the first level, right? I would call this somewhat local, but I'm not going to cover like every single level to the downside. I don't see a massive drop down to like 97K, right? I'm not going to cover that level today. But this not new range, but this range that we're now looking at again, value area low at about 107,160, POC sitting at about 108,944, and then the value area high here at 110.97. We do have a little bit of liquidity above that could act as a magnet to squeeze price up, but if we look here at the time frames, the medium time frames, such as the 4-hour here, money flow still in the green, VWAP rolling up. But if we come on up here to the 8-hour, If we're going to get a pullback down to these levels, guys, what I will be looking at is this 8-hour red dot with our 30-minute money flow crossover into the red. We could see money flow is generally trending to the downside here. Maybe it yeets back to the upside, but if we are able to get that 8-hour red dot to print, I would look for that 30-minute money flow crossover to indicate the longer, or the 30-minute trend to continue back down to this next key level of support. So 107,170 down to about $106,475 is that first major zone to look at. I'm going to give you one more lower level in case it gets a little bit scary. Hopefully we don't have to deal with this, right, for the move to the upside. But if we do break below that level, the biggest level that I will be looking at is obviously going to be the same major level that we've been looking at on the moves to the upside and the big moves to the downside, and that's going to be on the macro value area, which is this value area high, right? This comes in at about $105,742. This is the level we really don't want to lose, right? We do have an anchored VWAP creeping up very slowly into this fib zone. It'd be very nice if we can get that anchored VWAP. This is simply just pulled from the low of the downtrend. If you guys did not see my anchored VWAP tutorial that I recently dropped, go watch that. I show you exactly where I personally pull these anchored VWAPs from and how I use them to not only get sniper entries into like day trades and scalps, but also how I use it to identify big trend changes in the market. But if we do lose this, let's assume that anchored VWAP comes up here, right? Let's say we come down, right? We start losing this. This is 100% the biggest level on the chart, in my opinion, right? This is a pretty big zone. I'm not going to go over the entire zone, but at the end of the day, if we do come down there, right, we would really want to hold $105,750 because if we start getting stuck underneath here, it's not that you can't bounce off these Fibonacci levels, but if you do get the bounce, you're below major resistance, right? Here, the same thing, right? We got the drop in, and then we did get the breakout, so it's not impossible to get back out of it. But, once you get in here, right, you just have to understand that this big level of resistance is here at $105,742, right? We do have the golden pocket and the 786. If we are going to see the bearish scenario play out, say we lose that 786, we're not going to get the higher lows here or the higher lows here. If we're going to get that bigger drop down to 97K, on the way down, we'll see if we close that weekly candle. Like if it happens, I don't really see a situation where we go down and then back up above that 786 in the 1 week. But as we start to get down here, have we closed that weekly candle below the 786, indicating that we might see that lower high come in? If you're new to the charts, these Fibonacci retracements are a great way to identify where higher lows or lower lows are going to come in at. And at the end of the day, that 786 golden pocket zone, we barely respected the golden pocket. We totally disrespected the 786. But at the end of the day, right, like this would really be the zone to put that high time frame lower high in at, right, just to make that come up to a higher time frame to make it a little bit cleaner, right? If you're going to get that lower high, technically, that's the level to close the weekly below, either the 786, and if you close below the 786, you're probably closing close to the golden pocket as well. That could be an area to put the lower high in at. But at this point, right, we're starting to crack above it, which is nice. But if we're going to go down to that macro value area high, right, at that point, you have the weekly red dot very likely, which is the bearish divergence. You've rejected this level, and that would open up the door again for that bigger move down to about $97,000, right? Because at that point, you're below the value area high. If we get stuck inside this value area high, let me just clean this box up, get this out of here, right? I'll even get the fib out of there as well, right? If you don't hold any of those Fibonacci retracements, at this point, weekly red dot, weekly bearish divergence, you've rejected the lower high situation up here, which is bearish, and then you're below this, get stuck under here. The next target's going to be that value area, that POC, right? That's really the only way I can see this kind of turning around, right? Right now, it looks pretty good unless we see some crazy volatility tomorrow and we just get a massive dump to the downside. That's where it starts to look a little bit more bearish. But right now, guys, I'm not going to lie. It looks pretty good. We got dominance rejecting. We got Bitcoin cracking up towards all-time highs, holding above that 786 currently. And we do have support below those local levels I showed you. Even if we do get those cool-offs short-term, we could put quick higher lows in and then end up closing that weekly above the 786. So a simple sign here, guys. At the weekly close, you want that weekly candle closing above $109,556. Simply put, very likely to see all-time highs. And then pairing that with the market cipher B bullish setups, right? You have the 6-day green dot printing here as well, which is very nice to see. It's really just that weekly. That's just like kind of wheeling around here. Like that's the only thing that's going against the crowd. But even here, like weekly money flow is coming back up, which is very nice. So I'm going to come in here and check in on chat real quick. Shout out to Al Jr. said, I can't believe I love the money flow on the 4-hour. And considering the price right now, I'm like, man, market structure. Shout out to Al Jr. Let's go, baby. Let's see. Bought ETH at 1,400 after I sold it at 4K. Not going to lie. Shout out to Nirvana. Gotta respect that honesty, bro. Gotta respect that honesty, and I can't sit up here and pretend that I've never, bought high and sold low and then bought back. I don't always buy bottoms and sell tops. All right, I haven't always, throughout my entire career, but now we're pretty good. But let's see. Shout out to Rag Capital. Welcome in, bro. Said I missed the Mafia family. Shout out to Rag. Welcome in, bro. Good to see you in here again. Let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. So much for sell in May and walk away. They lied to us. Shout out to Rag Capital. Speaking of not lying, we actually had Tony D on a live stream dig into that a little bit, and he came back. He reported back to the Mafia and said it seems to be a little bit more of a myth, right? It's been more reliable in the past. And yeah, we came to the conclusion that it might be outdated, right? Sell in May and walk away. Like, listen, it has worked in the past, obviously. It's like a probability thing, but with the way the charts were looking, it just looked unlikely, right? Like, as we were getting the big pushes to the upside, right? Like, it just looked a little bit less likely to happen, right? Like, you could look at these things and, like, take them into consideration, but if the charts are not telling you that it's bearish, right? If the charts say it's bearish, and then you're like, okay, we are in May as well, and you can kind of put that together and be like, all right, maybe we're going to have to sell in May and walk away this time. But, the charts, it was not showing that on the charts, which is pretty funny to see that, play out for us approaching all-time highs again. But let's see here. Bada boom, bada bing. Let's see. Yeah, Bitcoin tapping 110K right now, baby. Getting on top. Look at that. Trying to get on top of that 786. Like I said, we do have liquidity above here. Actually, let's see if I have that. Let's see if I have that heat map up. Here's the liquidation heat map here, guys. I wouldn't say this is major liquidity here. This is the liquidity we were looking at about 106.7. We have some liquidity up here. And this does run up all the way, pretty much to the all-time high, right? It really starts above this high, starting at 110,745, right? Or, I should say 110,600, right? But once we start cracking into that, right, you could squeeze up. Maybe we get a little swing failure pattern. But at the end of the day, when these shorts start to get stopped out, the question is, are you going to get the SFP in a dump, or is that just going to give us a squeeze up towards that all-time high? And if that happens, you might start to see some of that FOMO come in. And, very similar, right? At the all-time high at 112K, right? We had a short setup in the premium Discord. I did take that. And, a lot of people are like, what are you doing? You're shorting 112K, bro. We're at all-time highs. Why are you shorting? And, at the end of the day, right? You can hold your longs from down here. That's great. But if you're going to look for a trade on a big move up like that, the only trade to look for is a short position. There's no reality that exists where I am longing a massive green candle like that. If I'm not in a long position from lower, I'm letting price go up without me. Sure, you could FOMO into a long position, but again, if it does end in an SFP, you're going to get absolutely dumped on, and that happens more often than not. People who are FOMOing in at the top, and you can identify this on things like exo charts. Are there a lot of people funneling into longs here? If they are, they could easily get trapped, and it could cause that big drop to the downside. So, again, we could look for potential rejections above the local high. Maybe that liquidity, as you stop out those shorts, right, it creates market buys. That's why you get those big liquidation wicks. That could kind of ride you up to the previous all-time high, and then you start cracking that. You start taking out the shorts from the high, and then you could just get a short squeeze situation. So, we are interested. We are going to be looking for shorts in the premium at these levels, but it's going to be, you have to be really careful when you're shorting. Even up here, right? You still have to be careful shorting an all-time high like this. So, because of the situation I just explained, right? You just get that bigger short squeeze, and then you get the FOMO coming in, right? At that point, it's like people are getting notifications on their phone. Bitcoin just made a new all-time high. You got all the retail like, oh my God, time to buy Bitcoin, right? And then they sometimes squeeze it up. So you got to be really careful, but we do have the liquidity sitting up there. We'll see what happens. You crack this high, you can at least just identify that liquidity and say, hey, if we start peaking above here, we might start to see those shorts get liquidated. We could start to see a big push to the upside. Whether that ends in a big dump or not is another story, right? We'll have to analyze that price as it develops. Let's see. Shout out to Mark Dutch said, don't miss all the buy and sell signals in this chat. Lots of financial experts out there. Shout out to Mark Dutch. It's really funny. Actually, you guys should probably take note of this, right? Take note of when we are not bearish, right? Obviously bearish for the drop to the downside, but not calling bear market, and everyone's like, it's the bear market, 10K incoming. I don't think anyone was saying that, but, we are not, right? And it's all based off the charts. And could the charts be wrong? Yes, right? If the charts are wrong here, I can't hide from it, right? Because I'm like, I don't think it's the bear market. If the bear market comes in, we'll be like, well, hey, I was wrong about that. You can't be right 100% of the time. In this case, we were right, and more often than not, we are right. Even here, shorting the all-time high, people thought it was crazy, right? And we got a nice 10% dump, right? It's so easy for people to get bullish up here, especially if they're not on the charts all the time. They don't understand how market structure works or SFPs or anything like that. I do feel pretty good. But at the end of the day, guys, if we do get the fake out, we are probably going to be in that short on the way back down. But we're going to have to let things develop. But right now, again, that local range that we will be watching is going to be right here, right? Value area low, 107.170, POC 108.944, and then the value area high at 110.97. And actually, if we look at the lower time frames here, yeah, we'll see. Potential 2-hour bear div might print. But again, money flow is coming up, right? You can't just short any random bear div, right? If money flow is coming up, chances are that bear div is either not, it's likely going to play out a little bit, but it's not going to give you a big move. That money flow is continuing to the upside. It's probably just going to be a pullback before a continuation up. So we'll see. This is the local range we're looking at. We lose that 786. I am simply going to be looking at the macro volume profile. This is the level you really want to hold. Get underneath it. There's going to be opportunities to look for the bounce. Really, the line in the sand is the 786 at 102.604. But again, there's probably going to be warning signs up here where we would anticipate a bigger drop. Value area high. As long as we stay above there, we should be good, right? You get accepted into this value. Starts to get a little bit more bearish. So there you go. I mean, if this is not right, this is the same thing we looked at last time we got stuck underneath. Like, hey guys, if we can't get back above that value area high, it's going to be bearish, right? We come up, back in. Oh, wait, what happened? I thought we were going to get stuck under the value area. And eventually you do get that bigger drop down, right? And this is all based off money flow, market structure, etc., right? It's never one thing. Shout out to George, says ETH. That's the boomer chain my Pepe rides on. Shout out to George. Let's go. Maybe we'll take a look at Pepe as well today. Let's see. Dar says BTC dominance about to hit the 63s again. Yeah, we did just take a look at Bitcoin dominance. And there she goes. She's continuing to push down here. Let me pull it up. And there is the tap of the daily there, guys, on Ethereum. Look at that. Look at the respect on that daily. That's crazy. But yeah, and I will be honest, right? This is resistance. But at the end of the day, guys, again, the bigger target is up here. Maybe get a little turbulence here. If we could flip that daily, next target, 3,000 to 3,100 bucks. Let's see. Shout out to Gibby, said I accidentally closed my short at 4K. Oh no! Well, did you write it down at all? Like maybe you wrote. I mean, who knows? Maybe you got this move. That's a nice short, bro. But yeah, not as nice if you wrote it all the way down. But hey, as long as you close it in profit, brother. Eugene Sky says like number 230. Shout out to Eugene Sky. Appreciate you, bro. Smash that like button, guys. 1,000 likes. We're giving away $150 in Solana to one lucky CandleMafia member on Friday night's live stream. Shout out to Eddie, said, bro, I've been holding since April, 80K. It's so boring. Shout out to Eddie. Yeah, I know. That's the thing. It's like, same with me, right? Like, even on that big dump in April, it's like, I'm holding since, my average entry price is 21 to 22K. So everyone's like, oh my God, it's the bear market. And I'm just like, when in doubt, zoom out. I know that's like a corny saying, guys, but it is so dang true, right? Like, when in doubt, zoom out. Now, if you bought up here and you're feeling that pain down there, that makes sense, right? But like for the overall health of the asset, we all know, right? Market structure is king. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high. This was the area to put the higher low in at. And to be honest, we could have even come down a little bit lower to retest this high down here and still been in pretty good shape for a higher low and a higher high. Market structure looks good. Money flow, the monthly and the 2-day look good, right? We'll see if that monthly green dot gives us the move that we want, right? And I will just tease this a little bit. I'm going to make a pre-record about that. But at the end of the day, I'll just share what I've shared in the past, right? Every 2-day every 2-day money flow crossover we've gotten has ended in a big move to the upside, right? Or not even that, just like the next leg up in the bull market, right? You have the consolidation, money flow crossover into the green, boom, big move up. Money flow on the 2-day comes out. That was your sign, right? And I think I may have discovered something else here, guys. You guys all know. We watch that weekly money flow crossover into the red to indicate the bear market's incoming. I show this all the time. Weekly money flow crosses into the red here. Massive dump down into the bear market, right? And then right here, weekly money flow crossover into the red. Massive bear market. This is what we look at for bear markets to come in. But I'm not going to lie. This might be the CandleMafia bull market by the dip signal. 2-day money flow crossovers are almost the same thing if you look at the market as in like these little pullbacks being little mini bear markets to buy the dip on, right? 2-day money flow crossover, massive leg up, bull market, right? Big bullish trend, essentially. Money flow comes into the red. You get that bigger drop to the downside. Buy the dip scenario. You buy that dip when money flow is in the red. Money flow crosses back into the green. Massive leg up into the bull market, right? Bull market. I know we're not talking traditional 4-year cycle bull markets here, but consolidation, 2-day money flow crossover comes out. You get a dip below everything, right? You buy the dip there. Money flow crosses back into the green. Are we about to get that next leg up? It happened here. It happened here. Happened here. Is it about to happen again? And all of these were accompanied by monthly green dots, which we now have as well, right? Eerily similar. And it might be the new thing where it's like, if you mark out the 2-day money flow crossovers, like that's the buy the dip scenario, hold it for the next leg up. That's the buy the dip scenario, next leg up. Whoops. That's the buy the dip scenario. Obviously, we didn't get the crossover until a little bit later this time, but money flow deep in the red here. And again, you're also pairing this with the fact that you're at the 786, probably an area to bounce. That could be your buy the dip scenario. 2-day money flow crossover, leg up. 2-day money flow crossover, leg up. 2-day money flow crossover, leg up. This might be the CandleMafia buy the dip market cipher B signal right there. Very similar to what we look at on the much higher time frames, which is the weekly. Anytime you accumulate with weekly money flow in the red, can you guys see that? Bear market, bull market. Money flow in the red, bear market, bull market. Money flow in the red. We literally use this cycle. If you've been watching this channel since the beginning, you were there buying that red with us during the bear market, bull market. Very similar, but that 2 day is just kind of like a mini version of that, which is very interesting. Actually kind of excited about that. I'm going to start putting that to the test. It's not going to play out every single time, obviously. Eventually, that 2-day money flow crossover, if we take a look at this, take a look at the 2022 bear market, right? Obviously, at some point, that 2-day money flow crossover stays in the red for much longer, right? 287 days in the red, massive bear market, right? But then the 2-day money flow crosses into the green. Maybe that's another sign to, like kind of similar, right? Like you don't want to be buying the dip in a bear market, but here it's very clear, right? This is a very clear top, right? 4-year cycle-wise, there was enough time for the bull market to play out in full. At that point, you're not going to want to just buy in the red here all the way down. I mean, at the end of the day, if you average in on the way down, it's not the worst thing, but you want to wait for that first big drop. So for the big bear markets, right, I think it's better to look at the weekly, right? Just go up that extra couple of time frames. So there you go. Let's see. Shout out to Trey Flip Jones says, is Ethereum going to pull the triple top meme? Shout out to Trey Flip. It might. I know a lot of people are looking at that. But with that being said, guys, I'll keep an eye on Bitcoin here as the price action develops, as it does, just kind of bing-bonging around here. But we're going to take a look at the altcoins. Go ahead and drop some of your favorite altcoins in the chat. Rob the Crypto Stomp will count out the votes and let us know what we're looking at. Shout out to Earth says full moon tonight, which I think is bullish. I don't look at the moon phases, but yeah, I've said this before, right? I was a big hater on the moon phases just from like hearing it. It's like, dude, if you're buying crypto based off the moon phase, it's probably not a great idea, right? But then I back tested it. It's like low-key not the worst indicator. I'm not going to lie. If it hits, it hits, right? Not something I would make decisions off of, but yeah, I back-tested it. It does work more often than it doesn't, I'll tell you that. Let's see. All right, yeah, so drop those altcoins in the chat. I know Rob... and shout out to George. Thank you for the super chat, bro. Never gave you the on that super chat. Shout out to you, bro. Thank you so much for that. And yeah, we'll take a look at the the boomer chain. But let's see here. If Rob is not here, I did not see his name. Darren, if you could do the alt list, or one of the other mods, if you guys could do the alt list, that'd be greatly appreciated. Oh, there we go. Yo, shout out to Tyler Jordan, already dropping the alt list in there. I'm going to go ahead and pin that. And we'll take a look at some other requests. I'll free ball some of them as well. Let me see what the Mafia thinks here on the poll. Tony dropped a poll here. Where is Bitcoin headed next? All-time highs. 61% of you guys say all-time highs. I absolutely love that. And then we're about to dump hard. 21%. I like the skepticism. I like that. And then no clue. That's why I watch you. 18%. Let's go. Let's see. Go altcoins. Trading sometimes. Trading something that moves 30% a day, while people be trading BTC moves only moving 2 to 3%. Yeah. I mean, listen. If you're not, if you don't have a lot of money to trade with, or you're not using leverage or something like that, yeah, you're gonna get. Any altcoin is gonna give you a much bigger percentage gain on than Bitcoin for sure. Let's see. Shout out to Hasty Garage Door. Hasty Garage Door. Shout out to you, bro. Said, you the man, Frankie. Thank you. No problem, brother. I am here for the Mafia. Axelar, shout out to Michael X. Yeah, Michael X. Michael S. We'll take a look at Axel for you, bro. I do hold some Axelar. So I'd like to look at that as well. But with that being said, guys, let's go ahead and jump into some of the altcoins here. Obviously, Ethereum, we've been saying, like, there hasn't really been much to update here as we went sideways for a month. But we knew as long as you hold above that anchored VWAP and this POC here, this level was given on the live stream between the daily naked point of control and the POC of the range. I'm getting a text message here. Just make sure that I'm not... Make sure it's not the mods being like, oh, my God, you're showing your social security number. Shout out to Mrs. Candles, yo. She's crazy. But anyway, we've just been looking at this daily MPOC with the point of control of the range. This was that big key level of support here on Ethereum. As long as we held above that, we could look for that next higher target at the daily and potentially flip that daily look into about $3,000 to $3,100. And again, we are also keeping in mind that Bitcoin dominance did come into the retracement zone. That's Bitcoin. That Bitcoin dominance is getting the pullback from that 786, which is what we wanted to see for potential alt season, right? I'm not saying this is definitely alt season, but this is the start of what we want to see. You did not want to get above that 786, so the rejection here is very, very nice to see. If we pull up total 3 as well, let's see here, bada boom. Total 3 also getting a little bit of a push to the upside here with that same 8-hour bullish divergence that we looked at on a lot of the altcoins as they approached those key levels of support. Getting that push back up towards that value area low, which is the biggest level to get above. And if we want to see the big altcoin rallies, guys, the key level here, 931.2B. is the level to break above, right? We want to see Bitcoin dominance break below its value area low. Doing something like that, right? That would be good for the altcoins. But we want to see total 3. We want to see this get up inside this volume profile. Once you get above that value area low, obviously it's resistance until proven otherwise. But once you can get above there, flip it to support, it's likely going to call for a bigger altcoin rally, right? Unless that happens, right? There's, if we come up here and get a big rejection again, there's very likely no alt season. Doesn't matter what month it is. Doesn't matter what happened in the past, right? This is what we need. This is the actual information on the chart that we need. So yeah. And now we're starting to see Ethereum get the push up, right? So very, very nice to see here. I got to stop covering so much in one stream, right? Because at the end of the day, I think most people who watch this show know that this has been our next target for the past month, right? Looking at hold above that anchored VWAP, hold above the MPOC and the point of control of the range. Targets above remain the same. And overall, that would be in the anticipation of the overall fill of this volume profile, right? Once you get above the value area low, next target is the POC. Flip the POC to support. Next target eventually will be the value area high. But we do have some resistance in here. It's likely, it'd be nice if it would just be a straight shot, but we do have some resistance in here that we could get a little bit of turbulence on, right? But at the end of the day, right, you are going to look for that full fill of the range towards the 786. Golden pocket, daily MPOC is the first big target. That's if you're going to get turbulence, I think that's going to be the first place to do it at. And then once you get above that golden pocket, very high probability to get a push into the 786 value area high confluence sitting at about $3,500. Pretty interesting. Again, in line with the dominance and total 3 and the fact that we have the 2-day money flow crossing over into the green. This is the first signal that we looked at, right? The 2-day money flow crossovers on the altcoins are very, 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 very big. Right on time. Just start to squeak into the green there with the money flow. Boop. Let's see if we can get that continuation. Let's see. Shout out to George. Thank you for the super chat, bro. He says, I paid $150 in gas to move $50. I love this game. Yeah, shout out to George. Gas fees are insane. I've said this many times. I have, I understand that, ETH is really expensive. There's much better stuff out there. But I just don't think that directly translates to the to ETH never going up again, right? And I said that all the way down here at the low. I've been in that camp before. Like, why would I buy ETH? It's slow. And it wound up being a mistake, right? So, yeah, ETFs, there's other reasons why this thing could continue up. But shout out to George. At the end of the day, the facts are the facts. It is expensive. That is for sure. It's absolutely crazy. Let's see. Let's see. Shout out to Dar, said, you're doing amazing, Frankie. I learn a lot from every stream. I also have a better grasp on what's currently happening when I tune in. Shout out to Dar. Let's go. Dar A. Let's get it. Shout out to you. Shout out to Erica, said, what, you're gas free? Slow but still has value. Yeah, shout out to Perry. Yeah. Shout out to Silosis V2 says whale money does not care about ETH fees. Yeah, potentially. Yeah. I think it's just a yo, shout out to White Dove Film said, hey, Frankie, when alt season, when Lambo? Shout out to White Dove. Alt season incoming. No, I'm kidding. But I will say, right, like anytime, I always say this, right? Anytime you guys see me talk about alt season or say like alt season loading, alt season incoming potentially, right? It's never just based off of like, oh, the alts are pumping, we're going up, right? It's always based off multiple things coming together, pointing towards a high probability conclusion, right? I'm not saying that we're guaranteed to go into alt season. We still need to see Bitcoin dominance break down more. And more importantly, we need to see that break into the value area low on total 3. Right? We need to get above that value area low. Once that happens, right, just like we look at on a regular price chart with Bitcoin, right? When Bitcoin approached its value area low at $90,000, we knew there was a high probability of getting that push into the POC around 97K, getting above that and getting the push up to the value area high and potentially new all-time highs. It's the same thing here with the total 3. If we got up there, right, and we get the rejection, right, are we calling alt season here? No. We might be saying, hey, you know, we're attempting to break into the value area low, but if money flow is in the red, it's probably a higher chance of the rejection, right? But now we have money flow coming up. The 2-day money flow coming up. If we get that, the idea is the continuation of the overall trend is going to continue up, and you're reclaiming the value area low, right? It's multiple things together. So, yeah, I will never just say, oh, season coming because the alts are pumping. But, yeah, nice to see Ethereum continue its move up here, right? We've been looking. I'm not even going to pull the older range up, right? But we have been looking at a potential push up into this value area low, and we knew this was the doorway to higher prices. This has been labeled the doorway to higher prices, labeled key forever, ever since we were down here. Once we get above there, just like in the past, we knew once we got above here, we'd go to the POC and very likely the value area high. Same thing on the way down. Get stuck in here, POC, value area low, back up, deviation, back in, POC, value area low, deviation. Once we break above here, you look to go to the POC, flip the POC. Are you going to get the full fill of that range? Well, if all these stars are going to actually align, it would just be the higher probability situation. Doesn't guarantee it, but you know, we see this stuff so much earlier than it happens, right? By looking at the charts, not just waiting for someone to say alt season, right? So yeah, let's continue on here. Let's take a quick look at shout out to My Passive Freedom, said top to 350K-ish this cycle because I can. Yo, shout out to My Passive Freedom. Let's go. Oh, there's Rob. What's going on, Rob? Welcome in. He says, good evening, Candle family. Welcome in, Rob. Thank you for being here, bro. Wait, is it Dave Digital's birthday? Oh, he's just saying happy birthday to Dave Digital because Dave Digital said happy birthday to Rob because you guys know Rob the Crypto Snob has a birthday every single day. I don't know how he got hooked up with that deal, but that's a fire deal. So, yeah. Watch that 2-day money flow crossover. Money flow crossover on the 2-day for Ethereum. Overall continuation to the upside. You heard it here first. You actually heard it here as we started cruising up on money flow, but now we're finally getting the signal. Let's take a quick look at Solana. Bouncing off that POC zone. Right? As we looked. Now, this is actually coming to a turning point here, guys. I'm not going to lie. Deviate above the high, get back into the range, and next likely place for price to go is the POC. Are we going to get the full fill of this range down to the low? I'll be honest. I would love that. I just don't know how likely it is. And the reason for that is because of money flow. Money flow indicates the overall trend. If this money flow stays in the green, we could easily, this is a big, big, big level to come tap. And I do believe it was, indeed, the golden pocket retracement was confluent with that as well. Right? And if you're going to look for a higher time frame, higher low to come in before a break of structure to the upside, that golden pocket is a good area to put in that higher low. We need to get out of this value area high, just like Bitcoin, right? When we were below that $105,750 value area high, you got to get above here, right? Because if you get slammed back down here, your anticipation would be to go to the value area low, which would be nice. This is still strong support. If that happens, like I said, I wouldn't be necessarily thinking bear market, right? But I would think, hey, this is a good area to potentially get the bounce. If you don't get it here, this would be the next level to look at. This lower level does sit between 130.31 and 124.19. First level with the POC, very, 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 very nice place to bounce. Could potentially be calling for a break of structure to the upside to continue the overall uptrend. Once we get up there, we all know we have that upper volume profile. Flip that value area low to support. Next target would be flip 183.91. Next target is 216.90. Same thing we looked at here, right? Resistance until proven otherwise. But once you get above it, right up to the PLC. Also the golden pocket retracement. And then eventually you look for the high. But nice to see that bounce here. We waited for that level for quite some time. A lot of people did not like me looking at that level as we were breaking out, right? Every time price pumps, it's not necessarily a breakout, right? Everybody thinks like, oh, pump to the upside. It's a breakout, right? Could be, right? But if everything's not confluent there, it might just be a rejection, right? But it took a while to get down there. We finally got down there, talked about that being key support, and we are getting the bounce, right? We get above that value area high. Not impossible to get accepted back in, but once you get above that high, there's a better chance that you could come up to the value area low, and then once we get in there, send it off to 216. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. And then if we get the drop to the downside out of nowhere, right? Maybe we get bearish news or something. Still, the biggest level of support here would be between 130.31 and 124.19. But that 2-day money flow, see if we can get that to continue up. That would be very, very nice to continue the overall trend. So yeah, that's what we're looking at on Solana. Other than that, the key levels remain exactly the same. Let's see. Then boom to the local value area high. Shout out to Perry. Let's see. Shout out to Nacho. Said if you're in Bitcoin to trade it, you'll never become rich. Accumulate. Shout out to Nacho. I do both. I hold a lot of Bitcoin and then I day trade it. I leverage trade it. Let's see. And then I take those profits from the day trades and then roll it into not always Bitcoin, but into altcoins, stuff like that, right? Trading is like the earned income, right? You have to work for the trades, right? And then you just roll that over to assets that you believe in on the dips, and then you hold that, and then that money grows over time. So yeah, I would disagree though. You could definitely get rich trading Bitcoin. Trust me. Let's see. Ada stuck on a fib. Shout out to Awesome. Yeah, we'll take a look at Cardano as well, but real quick, let's jump into Axelar so I don't forget. So it is not on the list. Let's take a look at Axelar real quick. Bada boom. Getting a little pop ski to the upside. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to lie, guys. These pops on the altcoins with everything that we just looked at, not the worst sign. Okay, I do not have any... Interesting. I did have these levels marked out. I don't know why it is not on this chart, but I will just mark out this previous value area just to give you guys some key levels on Axelar. Boom. Mark out the value area low. POC, value area high. Take a sip of that black coffee. Just got the general black coffee here, guys. Bada boom. All right, so we already came up and tapped that value area low. This is the biggest key level of resistance to get above. You might get some turbulence here, but again, at the end of the day here, you got the 2-day bullish divergences at the low. Not too bad. You also had the 8-hour bull div locally. This is the level that we looked at on a lot of stuff. I'll show you guys on the next altcoin that we looked at it on. But a lot of these altcoins, talking about watch that 8-hour bull div. If we get the next drop down, lower low on price, higher lows on your momentum waves, 8-hour money flow, looking to cross over into the green. Boop. Pop to the upside. So this actually doesn't look bad. That 2-day bull div, as we've talked about, I always look at Dogecoin to kind of show you guys this. The 2-day money flow crossover, similarly to that, 2-day bull divs on the altcoins are very bullish as well, right? So mark the bottom on a lot of altcoins. Like almost every time we get big dumps, get the lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves, 2-day bull div, that marked the low, massive leg to the upside. We got it right here. Lower lows on your price action, higher lows on your momentum waves. Got a pretty big pump to the upside. Is it going to be the next high? Who knows? But still going to be a very, very strong sign. So when looking at something like Axelar, you have the 2-day bull div, you have the local 8-hour bull div, massive shot to the upside here. I actually have not looked at Axelar today. Nice to see, as I do own Axelar. But getting above this key level here at about 54 cents, flipping that to support, would call for the move into the point of control at 64 cents. Flip that POC to support, move it on into the value area high at 82 cents. This is the value area you want to reclaim. Resistance until proven otherwise, and I will actually pull up. Yeah, I mean, you could look at this as a potential head and shoulders as well. Not something that I pay attention to ever, but only for confluence, and not something I trade. But it is looking nice as a super. I don't recommend you guys like measure out your your head and shoulders with just a drawn line on the paintbrush, but that would target potentially the point of control, the strongest level within the profile. So yeah, I would say next major target, if you get above that value area low, is going to be about 64 cents. Flip that, 82 cents is next. And then if I could pull up, yeah, I'll try to look at this. I mean, this isn't really the best. Let's pull it to here. Could look at this as like support on the way down, right? Because you might want to come back. If you do get a cool off here, you might want to go retest that value area high, which does currently sit at about 45 cents, right? So if you get a bigger cool off, you could potentially watch that value area high as support. Now, I can pull a fib here. This is a massive, massive 8-hour candle. Pull it from the impulse to the high. I would say your key levels of support down below are definitely going to be your value area high at 45 cents. And then below that, your POC. Your POC golden pocket confluence right here. Between 41 and 39 cents, right? 786 gets pretty close to the value area low at 36 cents, almost 37 cents. It's an honorable mention. I'd rather hold above that POC, but if you did slip that POC slightly and then reclaim, it wouldn't be the worst thing in the world. And yeah, even the full fib from the low is confluent with that point of control. So I would say like your biggest level on the chart right now, as far as Axelar goes, if you get the cool off, POC, golden pocket between 41 and 39 cents, right? Lose that, look down towards the value area low. 786 confluence. Lose that, you're going lower, in my opinion, right? You're probably going to break these lows. So yeah, these would be the 3 biggest levels of support on Axelar, in my opinion. And we'll see what happens. Biggest level of resistance, crack 55 cents. Look up towards 64 cents. Very, very nice. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Mark Dutch said, I'm more Nickelback, but that's because of financial issues. I just want my nickel back. Shout out to Mark Dutch. Let's go. Shout out to Nickelback. Look at this graph. Anyway, let's see. Shout out to Base Bailey. Said, hey, Frankie, how much pump can the pump do? All the pump? Some of the pump? A little pump of the pump? I would say, I think the pump could do all of the pump. I would say a lot of the pump. I think I would say we could do most of the pump. I think we could do most of the pump in the next month or so. Most of the pump. But let's continue on here. Next on the list here. Oh, no. Did I not? I did not pin that comment. Yikes. Yo, shout out to New Earth. Says, stonking up on alt season. Let's go. Alt season. Shout out to Rob or Tyler. If you guys could drop that alt list again. I thought I pinned it, but I guess not. Let's see. Yo, shout out to French Toaster. That meme is hilarious. Look at this graph. Neon Visual says it's a trap. It could be. It could be. If the money flow, right? If this money flow, I mean, 8-hour money flow is nice. But I would say, like, if the 2-day money flow was not looking like this, like we've looked at this since really since May. Ever since there was a visible uptrend here on the 2-day money flow, like this was the big sign to look for. If we are going to get a big move up, that is what I'm going to be looking at. If we didn't have this 2-day money flow, right? Money flow can infinitely help you stay on the right side of the trade. It's not that you're never going to get a fake out on money flow, right? You can see here you got a 2-day money flow crossover into the green. You got a little pop-up and a massive dump. Again, context is always going to be king. But, you know, there might have been other things saying that 2-day money. There's ways that you can kind of identify if it's going to be a fake out or not. Sometimes you just can't. But, yeah, like if this 2-day money flow is not looking like this, if the dominance was not dropping like it is, rejecting our key Fibonacci retracement levels, if Total 3 was not creeping back up towards that value area low, if Bitcoin was not approaching all-time highs, I would be a little bit more suspicious. But I would say as of right now, things look okay. Yo, shout out to Dave Digital. Said halt list BTC, Bitcoin, BTC, and Bitcoin. Let's go. Shout out to Dave Digital. We'll take a little bit of it. Take a little look at XRP. While we wait for the alt list. Let's see here. Bada boom. So, yeah, XRP. My thoughts on XRP are going to remain the same. fair warning here. It will remain the same as it was yesterday. As we looked at yesterday, we came on down to that value area low with bullish divergences on the 4-hour. Did we get it on the 8-hour as well? Yeah. Again, Tony, I wish I knew what stream we started talking about that at. But, like, just to give you guys an idea of how we front ran that, right? The way we did that was by simply seeing price action, front run that value area low, right? We haven't touched the value area low. We have the 8-hour VWAP rolling over, right? This would indicate that red dot might give us another ebb or flow to the downside into key support, right? So when you have key support below and you start to think to yourself, well, hey, if that red dot prints, this momentum wave is going to come down. And if we have key support just underneath us, we might get a bounce off that key level. And if we do that, the momentum wave is going to give us the higher low, giving us a bullish divergence. If that happens, we would look for a bounce back to the upside, especially because it's at a value area low. This is where you want to look for longs, right? So when you get that 8-hour bull div, you would look for the bounce. Next target would be the POC, right? Flip the POC, go to the high. We talked about this yesterday. Flip the low, go to the POC, flip the POC, go to the high. Reject the high with 4-hour bear divs, get back to the POC, reject the POC, go to the low. And then obviously we saw that play out, right? So yeah, I mean, at that point, right, my thoughts remain exactly the same here on XRP, which would be nice bull divs at the low with the money flow crossover into the green on the 8-hour at least. And the 4-hour, he had it as well. 4-hour bull divs, also very nice, especially when money flow comes up. When you see a bull div into a value area low with money flow coming up, it oftentimes indicates, or an 8-hour with money flow coming up, even better, it oftentimes does indicate a strong low for another move up. POC, flip the POC, go to the high. That's what I'd be looking at, like simple volume profiles. Same thing here, right? Can't beat the volume profiles. They're not going to play out 100% of the time, but I'd say dang near 80%, 85% of the time, they do wind up filling in full, unless you have context going against you, right? If we had money flow in the green here, crossing into the red, we might anticipate a more likely lower high into the POC, and we'd say in that case, maybe we don't go to the value area high, we put the lower high in and come down. But right now, money flow is coming up, which is very nice if you want to make it to that value area high at about 260. Get above that. I mean, heck, we could push up into the all-time high, right? Creeping up towards the next major fib level above the all-time high at about 352. Get above that. We're creeping into the $4 to $4.50 zone. Get above that. We can hit our first bull market target, which would be very nice to see at some point soon, $5.54. If we get a big drop to the downside out of nowhere for some reason, maybe we get bearish news or something, hits us by surprise, golden pocket is actually untapped here, right? So that golden pocket is still support. We tap the value area low, but you still have the golden pocket down here at about $2. Lose that, looking down towards the 786 at about 183. Lose that, I would be looking at lower prices. You don't want to lose that 786, but nice to see that you still have the confluence here on the value area low. All right, let's see. I'm late, but at least I'm like number 328. Smash that like button, guys. Let's run it up to 550 likes in the next 30 seconds. On the count of 3, smash that like button. See if we can glitch it up. I guess it's at 320-something. Let's see if we can glitch it up from 320-something to at least 450. If you all hit it at the same time, it'll glitch up in groups of 50. 3, 2, 1. Smash that like button right now. Click it all at the same time. Let's go, Mafia. I think we can do it. Let's see here. Nacho Gonzalez. Okay, and it got deleted by Dave Digital. That must have been a maybe a meme coin shill or something. I don't know. Shout out to Dave Digital, though. He literally pulled the super chat out of my mouth. Shout out to Dave. Vigilant Dave, they call him. Dave said, not today. Shout out to Dave Digital. All right, let's this super chats. You know what's funny? I can't even if the mods hide a regular chat, I can read it. I can at least pull it up for myself to read, but they just disappear, the super chats. I can't look at them. All right, shout out to Nana. Shout out to Nana. What are you doing in chat? Shout out to you. Says they want to see CRV. Yeah, we could try to take a look at CRV. No problemo. Super chats do not guarantee that we'll get to your altcoin, but they are easier to see, but they do not guarantee. Just a quick heads up. Let me pull up regular chat now again. Hammer time. You guys are crazy. I think we're going to dip to 107. Shout out to Daniel. Scrub back to the beginning of the stream. 107, actually very key level. Yo, shout out to Laffit. Shout out to you. Said I joined the kitchen today or the premium Discord. Love you, man. From Tunisia. Shout out to you, bro. Well, welcome in. Happy to have you in the premium Discord. And yeah, let's go. Thank you for being in there, bro. And happy to have you in the stream. All right, so let's continue on. Was it another brown star? Shout out to French Toaster. We're trying to delete that from the internet, bro. We're trying to, like, Men in Black flash that out of people's memories. All right, let's see. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Said, stop by for a few. Watching the Cubs now. Shout out to Seth Shepard. Let's go. Okay, so let's go ahead and am I just like totally dropping the ball on catching the alt list? Or should we just free ball them? We'll just free ball them. All right, let's take a look at CRV. We don't take a look at CRV all the time. All right, so let's take a look here. So I assume the last time we looked at CRV was on May 20th as we were approaching the value area, or maybe approaching this anchored VWAP. Reclaim it. Reclaim the value area low. Look for the value area high. Let's come up to a higher time frame here to see if there were any. So, yeah, my opinion here would pretty much remain the same, right? Value area low will be, or POC. Actually, in this case, your POC is your key level of resistance, right? When you have that POC and the value area low so close to each other here, that is going to be your, the POC is really your level, right? Because you could just get above that value area low and just reject the POC, which seems to be what happened here, right? Rejection, right? Once you get above that value area low, and I will say right now, looks better. I mean, it actually did not look that bad here. Thank you. Shout out to Rob the Crypto Snob. Shout out to Tyler Durden. Now we have it pinned. I swear I pinned it before. Tony D might have repinned something else. Unidot, Band, and Popcat. Okay. I don't hate it. But yeah, taking a look here. Honestly, not a bad first approach. Like this didn't really even look that bad, right? You have money flow coming up on the 2-day, a little bit overbought there. You took a little bit of another dip on the 2-day money flow, but you did put in a higher low. Now we're crossing into the green. So I'll argue that like this wasn't even really a bad approach. Always going to be resistance until proven otherwise, but now we have money flow starting to cross over into the green. So keep that money flow in the green. Flip 81 cents. The nice thing here is like sure you have some daily levels up in here, right? You have a daily level right here. You have a daily level right here. And that's about it. Let's see if we have any weekly levels. Yeah, you have a weekly level here as well. Nope, that's not a weekly. That's tapped. You have a monthly. You have a monthly level here. That's worth keeping an eye on. So, yeah, I would say get above the POC. Next major target would be the monthly at 89 cents. But at the end, once you get in here, flip that POC, might get a little turbulence on the monthly. Not that you couldn't nuke out of there, but, at that point, if we're getting the money flow in the green on the higher time frames, 2-day, 3-day, the overall anticipation would be to continue up through that profile. Based off the laws of the volume profile, based off the money flow, that would be the anticipation. So flip, number one, you want to flip 81 cents. Above that, look to go to 89 cents. Flip that. Start your journey up to that value area high. You got these two dailies here. Nope, those are MPOCs. You got, that's MPOCs again. You got these two dailies up here as well, but at the end of the day, it's, I would just be looking at that volume profile, right? Could give you turbulence, but, you'll be looking for that value area high. Let me pull the macro fib here from the high to the low. Yeah, 786 is confluent with the value area high. That is your biggest level for new all-time highs. Flip, $1.13, very high probability you go into new all-time highs. Golden pocket sits right in the middle of the range there. But yeah, I would say biggest level right now, 81 cents. Flip that, look up towards 89, and then we can reassess the situation. Money flow, again, looks very nice. 5-hour money flow continuing into the green as you flip above this anchored VWAP once again. That would be very nice. This is pulled from the high. So once you flip that to support, get back in this range, that would indicate a potential bigger trend change here for a bigger move up. Doesn't look that bad. So yeah, and then again, high time frame money flow doesn't look bad at all either. 2-day money flow crossing into the green. Monthly green dot's been confirmed here for a while, though. Interesting. And the Heikinashi has been confirmed for a while as well. So you don't have the market site for B1/16th on the 2-day money flow crossover, but still bullish for a continuation of the trend. Low, high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, potentially into that monthly. So there is CRV. Let's see. Shout out to Jacob says, Frankie, which volume range indicator do you use to mark different time frames? Shout out to Jacob. This is the fixed range volume profile. This is the one that I typically use. And yeah, I just mark out the ranges, and then typically that marks out fair value. And then when you leave that fair value and start to get a move back towards it, right, you create new value, right, down here. Once you leave that value, price is going to gravitate towards previous value. That is just simply what happens. More often than not, price will seek out fair value. So when you leave this fair value, price is going to seek out previous fair value. Once you get in here, it will fill that value. So there you go. And even here, right, like if I pull this volume profile down here, get out of here, malware. Yeah, you didn't get the you didn't get the tap of the value area high, which would have been nice to see. But still, yeah, that's what I'd be looking at on CRV. Not too shabby. 2-day money flow crossovers, not bad on the altcoins, guys. Trump coin. Yo, shout out to Giggle Longbottom said, hey, daddy, can you look at ZBCN? I will take a look at CBCN. Shout out to the Giga Longbottom. Friendly reminder, I am not actually your dad. I don't know. Shout out to Giga. Yeah, Dusty Hunt said, is Bitcoin a good stock? Yeah, I don't know. I think PayPal. It's a competitor to PayPal. I think PayPal's going to take it out. What pizza toppings do you recommend? Buffalo chicken? I don't know. I'm a you kinky Rob. Oh my God. I'm a big plain slice guy. I like plain slice buffalo. Tony made some fire Caesar slices last weekend. Those were good as well. Ada for the homies. Yeah, we'll take a look at Cardano. Trump. Oh yeah, let's take a look at Trump. Everybody's asking for Trump. Let's go ahead and take a look. Is that all we're gonna get? I think that's all we're gonna. No. Mex usually has the best. Okay, there we go. These are far away now. We'll re-pull those when they become relevant again. All right. Well, Trump coin. Let's take a look here. Actually, let me pull that 4-hour back up. So I would definitely, like, locally above you. This is definitely your next value area. Take a look at the 2-day. Man, 2-day money flow is still pretty deep in the red. You did get the 2-day green dot. 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. That's a nice confluence there. So I would say, listen, I mean, you got a little bit of work to do, but I would say, like, the most important, like, look at, like, even this little area of value right here gets respected once again. It's like little mini value. Back into the value area low, back to the high, deviate the high, back to the low. So, I mean, I guess I could give you this. This is, like, not a very big value area, but, you know, hyper locally. Get above this POC, you can look for about 1145, but that's, like, just super, super local. I'm not going to get that detailed, but I would say, like, your next biggest level to get above here is going to be about 1234. 1234 into the POC at 1286. This is pretty low. This is pretty close to the value area low, so you kind of look at this as a zone. Work your way up. Get above the value area low. Really not until you flip that POC would I be looking back up towards 1461. But same signal, right? A lot of the alts look the same right now. 2-day money flow doesn't look that similar, but the 2-day green dot with the 4-hour money flow crossover into the green, this would make you potentially anticipate continuation of the uptrend, right? You could pull back, right? But you're just going to anticipate the continuation up here. This is your biggest level of resistance. Plain and simple. So there you go. Quick little rundown on Trump. Let's see. Yo, shout out to Cryptic Crabman. Expect we'll see a bunch of nice green moon dingers the next few days. Let's go. Shout out to Cryptic Crabman. I would not hate that. Let's see. Oh, mushrooms on pizza. Actually, mushrooms on pizza are fire as well. I kind of like everything, honestly. I'm kind of a garbage disposal when it comes to food, though. Yeah. Barbecue. Shout out to Pennywise. Not bad. OP. We haven't taken a look at OP in a while. I'm just like kind of writing these all down. We took a look at XRP. Well, we did. Took a look at CRV. Took a look at Axel. Take a look at OP. Took a look at Trump. Let's take a quick look at Cardano. A lot of people asking for Cardano. So, again, down into our key level of support. Monthly MPOC. We looked at this yesterday. 4-hour bull div into the monthly MPOC. Next target, POC. Same thing as yesterday. I would still anticipate, especially now getting back above this anchored VWAP. Next target, 73 cents. Flip 73 cents. Could open up the door in a big way, especially with the 4-hour money flow crossover, especially with the 2-day money flow trying to come up. It's attempting. It's not as close as it is on some things, right? A lot of things are starting to get the crossover. Cardano is lagging a little bit. But get that 2-day money flow crossover. Could anticipate to fulfill this range over time, right? I'm not expecting this tomorrow or the next day, right? You could pull back a little, right? Big mong around, but flip that decisively. Get that 2-day money flow crossover. I'd be looking up towards about 97 cents. In the long term, medium term, I should say. And that's assuming that Bitcoin does not get the mega rejection from the 786. That's assuming we're closing weekly candles above that 786. Keep that in mind. If Bitcoin goes to 97K, a lot of this stuff is going to follow. But right now, with the way things look, not looking too bad. But yeah, I mean, these are all levels we gave on the live stream. And not even the levels either, right? It's also the bull divs, right? Actually, Cardano was the one I was going to use as the example where we were looking at it here, saying if that VWAP rolls over, gives us the red dot, gives us a lower low, we have massive support down here to put a bull div in at for the bounce into the POC. Now we're just looking for the fill of that range, right? Might take some time, but right now, local target, 73 cents. There you go. 2-day money flow in the right direction, 4-hour money flow crossing into the green. 2-day green dot has confirmed. Very nice. So yeah, unless this 4-hour money flow just fakes out back into the red, maybe then you get a bigger drop down. But if this money flows in the green, the anticipation, continuation up the uptrend. There we go. Let's see. Yeah, shout out to Keith, said CPI going to potentially ruin BTC tomorrow. Hopefully it comes in lower or going to zero. Shout out to Keith. Yeah, I mean, if we get some crazy news or something, obviously anything can happen. That's why I never just say up only, right? Obviously there are more puzzle pieces pointing from a technical perspective to the upside right now, as we've been looking at for a long time. But, again, I will say this, right? Like, what are we looking at for the rejection? If I didn't pay attention to any of the news at all whatsoever, it wouldn't even really matter to me, right? Because my sentiment just is really just based off the charts, right? If we get super bearish news tomorrow and we get the big dump down, right? Maybe we get the liquidity sweep or something like that. But if we get the big move down, right, and then that weekly candle closes below the 786, I'm going to anticipate a bigger drop to the downside anyway, right? Regardless of what the news says. But yeah, that could be the catalyst, right? But the only way to kind of potentially see that stuff incoming, right? If we had a lot of stuff, maybe that weekly bear div shows its ugly face, right? If the news comes out bad, maybe that weekly bear div prints, and then it's like, well, hey guys, weekly bear div printed, we got the move down on the bearish news. But again, like the bearish sign on the weekly is already there. But I would still say there's still more pointing to the upside. Shout out to Awesome Zav, said people should subscribe to the premium Discord. Hey, shout out to Awesome Zav. I don't really shill the premium Discord that much. I'd rather shill it like that and have the Mafia actually shill it. But yeah, shout out to Awesome Zav. Thank you for being in there. And yeah, if you guys want to sign up for the premium Discord, you can go to frankiecandlestrading.com or click the link in the description down below. I think we did the math. It's like $2 a day, I believe. It's like $2 a day. Not a signals group. It is not a signals group. I don't tell you to buy here, sell there. I give you predetermined pre-set up trade setups that I'm personally looking at with confirmations, what I want to see if we push into a key level. Trading is about setting traps, not going out and hunting, right? So if we have a key level here, I will say, hey, guys, this looks like a good level of resistance. If we do come down up into this level and I see, X confirmation up here, that's where I'm going to be looking to take a short position, and I will be targeting these levels on the way down, etc. And I, walk you through my entire bias, and you just get daily TA in general, even if there's no setups. Daily TA, we do 2 premium live streams a week, one on Monday, one on Friday, getting ready for the week, ending the week. It's good stuff. Yo, shout out to Pose said, Frankie, it's nighttime for us here. What do you think we will have, or will we have any action in the next hours, or can I go to sleep? Shout out to Pose. I mean, maybe Asia wakes up and starts moving us around here a little bit. But yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they do. Sometimes they don't. So I would just roll the dice, go to sleep, and wake up and see what happens. Shout out to Pose. Shout out to Dave Digital, said $2 a day, ending very soon. Get in for the low price before the door closes. Shout out to Dave Digital. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Who exposed Dave Digital for being in the premium for free? He's a mod, guys. He's a mod. The mod, we take care of the mods. I mean, I'm not going to charge the mods. They help us out, obviously. But somebody exposed him. They're like, yeah, cheap for you, Dave. But yeah, $2 a day. Not too bad. Let's see. Shout out to Curtis Reese, said, Frankie, did you find a 4-day green dot, 2-day money flow crossover into the green failure? Shout out to Curtis Reese. All right, I think you mean 4-day green dot with a 2-day money flow crossover. Not a 1/16 strategy. 4-day green dot with a 2-day money flow crossover into the green is not, at least not a Market Cipher B 1/16 strategy. Maybe a different type of strategy, Curtis, if you found something else. But that is not typically a the 2-day green dot with the 4-hour money flow crossover is a 1/16 strategy. But yeah, not all the 1/16s are going to play out all the time. They are 100% not going to play out 100% of the time. There's always going to be failures on these. Again, context is always going to be king. If I have a weekly bearish divergence, daily money flow coming out, I'm not going to look at a 4-hour, 15-minute, 1/16 strategy in a bullish way. I'm not going to look for that to play out in a huge way, right? I'll probably just look for a little bit of a bounce. But yeah, I'm not sure if I fully understand that, but shout out to Curtis Reese. CandleMafia's John Cena said, likes are way too low. Smash that like button, guys. Let's get it to 550. I assume it's not at 550 yet. Smash that like button. We got 30 seconds. If we get, where are we at? Let's see. 455. If we get 550 likes in the next 1 minute, if we get 550 likes in the next 1 minute, I will give $50 in Solana to one lucky CandleMafia member right now. 1 minute. Let's run it up to 550. That was probably too easy of a goal. But we'll see. We'll have Tony D pull a winner right now. But let's continue on here. All right, so we took a look at, we'll take a look at SUI. And actually, what was on the list? Let's take a look at Uniswap. We have not taken a look at Uni in a while. I'm going to knock out this list real quick. All right, so we got 2 major profiles here. Bada boom. You got another one right up here. All right, so these are your major profiles. And you can just see, approach the value area low, resistance, resistance. Oh, dang, 480. We got like 11 likes. Dang. We tried. I tried. I just want to give away the money. Let me give away the money, guys. All right, let's see here. ETH on the 4-hour zoomed out looks like a Bart Simpson pattern. It would have. Maybe. I would say before you broke the high here, I would say it looked a little bit Barty. Well, we'll see. I mean, maybe you come all the way back down. But I actually like that you broke this high. But anyway, let's continue on here. Back to Uni. So here we are, right? Well, value area high. I wish it was down here when we were looking at it because then we would just say, hey, flip the PLC, go to the high. This is like literally the sauce, guys. This like volume profile is going to put me out of business. It's like I would not shill the volume profiles if they did not work. Low, POC, flip the POC, value area high is the next target. Simply put, sitting at 928. Break out of there, right? Obviously, you're going to get a second approach at this doorway to higher prices. I will label this as the boom boom room. You want to go into the boom boom room. I can't really tell you why, but you just want to go in there because if you do get in there, anyway, yeah, that's what I'd look at. And again, it's it actually looked pretty good here, to be honest. I'm not going to go through looking at the super higher time frames. Maybe there was something in there. But I would say, like, not too bad. Like, get that money flow crossover into the green. Almost, like, right where you got this money flow crossover into the green as you approach the value area high. Break above this. Next target is going to be 1705. Then you have an opportunity to flip it to support, right? And again, it's always going to be resistance until proven otherwise, right? So you have to expect resistance here, but once you flip it, I'd be looking up towards the POC at 2570 and then the value area high at 3021. Let's see. Shout out to Hisham says, what is Ethereum's next move according to you? Shout out to Hisham. If you scrub back, we looked at Ethereum right after Bitcoin. I actually already talked about it. So if you just scrub back or watch the stream from the beginning, get all my full thoughts on everything. But 3,000 to 3150 is the next target. But if you go back, you'll get all the details on that analysis. Shout out to Hisham. The boom, the boom boom. Let's see. No boom boom in the champagne room. Shout out to Cryptic Crab Man. Yo, shout out to Kyle. Said 6 funded accounts in a month. Frankie, volume profiles are goated. Shout out to let's go. Shout out to Kyle. Congratulations, bro. That's what I'm talking about. Value area trading is the most overlooked trading strategy on earth. We teach it here every single weekday for free at 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And if you pay attention, you can make some money and maybe even pass some funded accounts like Kyle. Let's go. Let's see. All right, so let's take a quick look at SUI. There is Uni. Again, 2-day money flow looking very similar to everything else. Take a look at SUI. Whoops. Take a look at SUI over here. That is not our SUI chart. What is that, the Coinbase chart? Let's take a look at the Binance chart. Here it is. Okay, so let's see what this is. Okay, so there was your opportunity right here to put in a lower high and a lower low. We did not do that. You flip the 786. You look for a higher high. Absolutely beautiful. You reclaimed the, the anchored VWAP. Very nice. Could very well be on your way to 376 up here at the POC. Again, cannot state this enough. Actually didn't get the bullish divergence like you did on a lot of the other altcoins. Deviation below the low, this is where you look for longs. Deviation above the highs, this is where you look for shorts. And if you have random people telling you, you're an idiot, why are you looking for shorts? We're breaking out, right? But you see the technical confirmations for a short on top of a value area high, that would increase the probabilities of your trade playing out. It's going to zero, man. What are you doing? If you have bullish confirmations, which actually I would argue here that you did not have the 8-hour bull div. Did you get the daily? I think you got the day. No daily either. So, I mean, I'd argue, you didn't get the higher time frame confirmations. You didn't get the 4-hour bull div. Did you get like a 1-hour bull div? Dang, not even, man. So kind of hard, kind of a rough trade down there, to be honest. Like, you didn't really have a ton of confirmation down there as far as the divergences. But either way, right? Like, this is undervalued. Get back into value. Get sucked up towards the biggest magnet within the profile, which is the point of control, sitting right here at 376. That's the next target. Stay above this anchored VWAP. I say 376 is your next stop. Also would like to see the 2-day money flow crossover, but right now it's headed in the right direction. If we get some kind of like a shocker dump to the downside on some news tomorrow or something, I would say you are approaching a local golden pocket 786, so you are up against local resistance here. So if you do get a massive dump from this level, your biggest key level other than the value area low is going to be this value area high, previous value area high at 282. And maybe, right, if you did get that, right, and again, until we get out of this volume profile, I would not be expecting that, right? Like, you're still above support within your upper profile, which is nice. But if you did get the drop down there, right, maybe you could actually put in some kind of a bullish divergence, right? That's the one thing I don't love here is that there's no bull divs at the low. Not that you need them necessarily, but it would look a lot nicer. So, yeah, until we lose that value area low, I would just say, hey, get above that 786. I mean, I would still say this is really the next general target, but you are up against local resistance. Let's see here. Yeah, you do have a little. Yeah, that's pretty much what I'd be looking at. Just kind of bing-bonging around up above this value area low. Very nice that you reclaimed the anchored VWAP, though. Let's see. Shout out to Enigma. Said, what do you think of solid 24-hour losers like TRB on a bullish day? Some things lag behind. I wouldn't really have that strong of an opinion on it, to be honest. Like, it's almost like, Ethereum. Bitcoin's screaming to the upside. Ethereum's like getting, Ethereum was just getting absolutely dumped. It's like eventually things get their day, right? As long as it's not a total garbage project, most things will see their day. So yeah, I wouldn't say like if your altcoin is not moving today, as long as you believe in the project and you know it's a good project, and there's no reason to really think that it's going to zero, I wouldn't be that worried. So yeah, let's see. Friday the 13th dump incoming. Shout out to N. Shout out to N. Maybe. Definitely not something I would trade off of, but we'll see. We'll see. Can somebody, Tony D, at Tony D, can you study the history of Friday the 13th dumps and pumps and let us know? Maybe there's something to it. We're going to find out. The truth can hide. The truth can hide. All right, let's see TRB. Let's see TRB real quick. Yeah, I mean, listen, at the end of the day, right, like, let's take a look at the weekly. We look at this a lot on a lot of things yesterday. That's not going to help us. I don't love pulling to these, like, scam wicks, but let's pull it to here real quick. Yeah, it doesn't really help us either. Is this the full chart? Let's see. Max usually get no. TRN. I guess we'll just take a look at this. Let's see here. All right, so you're coming up against your value area low. I mean, that's you're tapping on your doorway to higher prices. This is yeah, I would say this is the level to break. You actually almost made it to your POC. I mean, listen, 4-hour VWAP coming up. On that next 4-hour green dot, if you can get back above that value area low, sitting at about 52.62, that could potentially open the door. Actually, let me move this up a bit. Sitting at about $54. Flip that to support. I'd look for a move into the $70.19 POC. Simply put, I mean, you're looking to enter the boom boom room on a lot of this stuff. 2-day money flow crossing into the green. Can't hate that. Monthly green dot confirmed. Hike in green dot confirmed. Yeah, I mean, it's like any 2-day money flow crossover, even the ones that don't play out a lot. Here's a 2-day money flow crossover. Move up. Here's a significant 2-day money flow crossover. Massive move up. 2-day money flow crossover, little move up, right? 2-day money flow crossover, massive move up. So you did get the bull divs at the low as well. You're looking at this as undervalued price. Lower lows on price, higher lows on momentum waves. Approach the value area low, flip it to support, POC, value area high. That is your previous area of balance. That's where I'd be looking to go next if the continuation up continues. So there we go. Let's see. All right, let's see. Next, let's take a look at Polkadot. Next on the list. Whew, holding that value area low. Holding it with the 2-day money flow crossover into the green. Yeah, I mean, I don't even want to, like, beat these dead horses here. You guys know I'm a huge animal guy. I would say hold above this low. I mean, you could get accepted into the profile. And you have the 2-day bull divs at the low. Key level of support is simple, 397. I mean, almost $4. Hold above $4, you could get accepted into this range and get the bigger move up. And, like, we talked about this recently. This is such a similar situation, right? Doesn't mean it has to play out the same way, but you get, like, the 3 drives of bullish divergence here, pretty much. Lower lows, higher lows on the 2-day. Lower lows, higher lows on the 2-day. I mean, I would have to say that if you stay in this range, like, that's the fill of that range is likely if you get the 2-day money flow crossover. You have the bull divs. You have the acceptance above the value area high, value area low. Yeah, I mean, listen, unless dot's going to go to 0, which I guess isn't impossible, that's what I would look for. If everything else pumps, very likely that dot follows here into the value area high, right? POC sits at 638, value area high at 738. Locally, daily money flow also trying to cross over into the green there. Oh, let me turn off bar replay mode. There we go. Let's check the 4-hour there. Yeah, 4-hour money flow crossover into the green. You get to see the it moves because we move time frames here, but you get to see the flip of support on that value area low with the 4-hour bull div. Yeah, I don't know. 4-hour bull div money flow coming up. Like, this historically does give you, I mean, you already got the move up, right? But you get money flow continues up. I'd look for the continuation. Lose the value area low. Yikes. That would not be a good sign, right? Let's pull the fib real quick here. Oops. Yeah, you got to hold above that value area. As long as you stay above this value area low, 786 at between, say, $4 and $386, I think you can continue up. Lose that 786, probably going lower. Let's pull the this whole move here from the low to the high. Yeah, I mean, this would be an area to put the higher low in before continuing up and cracking this high here at 530. Like, that is where you would hope, over the long term, you would put in a higher low. Just barely front ran that 786. Continue up, that would be the anticipation, especially based off money flow. Doesn't mean you can't come down, right? Anything can happen. Not financial advice, but that's what I would look for. So there you go. There's Polkadot. Let's take a look at Band. I'll give this one really quick. I don't have any TA on this, so I don't want to spend a ton of time like looking at this just because it's going to take me a long time to mark it up, or at least a little bit. But I will just give you this upper profile. Clear area of value here. Yeah, I mean, you got the 2-day bull divs, money flow trying to come, but it all looks the same, honestly, right? Like, almost every altcoin is looking for that 2-day money flow crossover with the bull divs at the low. This doesn't look as strong, to be honest with you. You have the bull divs. I mean, I would assume this is your 786. Maybe lost it a little bit. You might have wicked below it or deviated below it slightly. Yeah. Got to hold above this, right? You lose that 786. Ugh, that doesn't look good to me. If you reclaim that golden pocket and break this high, then you could potentially get above here, close some candles above this high at about 95 cents. Then you could start your journey into the value area low, and then you guys know what comes next after that, right? If you can get accepted above that POC. So key level of resistance here to flip is $1.43. Locally, you got to hold above 64 cents. If you can't hold above 64 cents, new lows to be very, definitely new lows to come. Obviously, you're already almost at new lows there. So you got to reclaim this fib zone. Get above these highs. Look for moving to the value area low. Flip that POC at $100.44. Look up towards 223. There you go. Quick and dirty on band. I don't want to spend a ton of time marking this up. It's going to take forever. Let's see here. Shout out to Taylor, says, crypto dust all adds up. Shout out to Taylor. There's actually, I forget what exchange it is. There's one exchange that allows you to change your dust, like with one click. It just says turn dust to USDT. And you just click one button, it takes everything under a certain amount, turns it into USDT, which I wish all exchanges did. That would be very nice. All right, let's see. Jonathan says, Ray's Boom Boom Room. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Shout out to James, said morning, Frankie, and all from Bangkok. Shout out to James, and shout out to Bangkok. Let's go. Alt season, please. Shout out to Bitcoin blockchain domain. Let's go. Come on, baby. Come on. Let's see. Shout out to Keith, says, can you see money flow on any other indicators? There are some other indicators that have money flow. It is slightly different. But as I always say, just because it's slightly different does not mean it's completely useless. It's just going to be a little bit different than mine. So, yeah, I do believe there are other ones. Someone in the chat probably knows the best alternative. Shout out to Bossman. Wants to see Doge. We can take a look at Doge. Let's see here. Not too shabby. So, actually, I think we took a look at Doge. Yes. Actually, we took a look at Doge just before. I didn't do full TA on it. But Market Cipher B looks the same, right? 2-day money flow crossover, your monthly green dot potentially incoming. Also, before I continue on this, guys, take a look at Total 3. Monthly green dot incoming on Total 3 as well. This would be a really, really good sign. I'm not loving the inversion here on the VWAP, but that monthly green dot prints on Total 3 with that 2-day money flow crossover. This is good for all altcoins, right? That would indicate to me that we're probably going to continue the trend to the upside. Low, high, higher, low, higher, high, higher, low, higher, high, potentially filling this whole range in full, which could indicate alt season coming if we see that stuff happen, right? So that's what I would look for. But yeah, looking at Doge, approaching your anchored VWAP. This would be a big level to get back above, right? We didn't really lose any key levels here, if I'm being honest. Pull it from the low all the way to the high. Come on. There we go, right? You're bouncing off your golden pocket. This is a potential area to put in a higher low before putting in a higher high, meaning breaking this high here into the POC weekly MPOC, POC of the range, and the weekly naked point of control between 26 and 27 cents. Got to get above that anchored VWAP. That's what I would want to see. Flip that anchored VWAP, get the bigger move up. Fast move up equals fast move down. Fast move down could mean fast move up. If you want to look for some local levels here, you could pull this volume profile right here. That would give you local resistance to the upside. Value area low at 21.218, right? PLC at 22 cents. Value area high at 23 cents. Yeah. So I'll give you even some local levels on the way up. If you flip that anchored VWAP and continue to the upside, these would be two key levels I would look at as local resistance. Step 1, get above the anchored VWAP. Approach this previous value area. You could potentially, this is an area where you could put in a lower high and change trends, but I would say with the way money flow looks, 4-hour money flow, 3-hour money flow, crossing over into the green here, doesn't look that bad. 4-hour money flow, crossing into the green, that would make you anticipate a continuation of that uptrend. Get above that 786, look to continue through the profile. So anchored VWAP right now sits at about 20 cents. Flip that, look to come in here, break that 786, look up to the POC of the range. And if you're not looking at any of the local levels, you just want like the longer term moves here. Nice to get the bounce here at the value area low. Could be on your way to the POC. Flip the POC, push up into between 32 and 35 cents. And then the value area high sits at 38 cents. K Diggity in the chat. Shout out to K Diggity. Whoops. Phoebe says hi. Shout out to K Dig. Welcome in, bro. Shout out to Izzy. Says smash that like button, Frankie family. Let's go, baby. 1,000 likes. We'll give away $150 in Solana. Let's go. Tried to give away $50 in Solana to pop it up to 550, but we couldn't get there. We're still not there. Shout out to Amar. We actually already took a look at CRV. If you scrub back just a little bit, you can see our thoughts on CRV as I double check myself. Yeah, we did take a look at CRV. So go scrub back a little bit. You'll see the chart pop up, and you'll get that full analysis. Let's go. Let's see. Shout out to Boss Man. Said, I appreciate you, bro. No problemo, Boss Man. That's what we're here for. But yeah. Let's see. We'll do one more. OP. Shout out to Web Crusader. Let's go. OP. We do have an OP chart here, I think. Where is it at? Where's it at? Where's it at? I gotta pull the symbols back up here because I just get lost. There it is. Yeah, I haven't looked at this in forever. All right, so all this is probably outdated. All right, so let's take a look at the weekly. Weekly green dot potentially looking to print. No bullish divergence. You have the 2-day bull divs, lower lows. Slightly higher lows, like almost an exaggerated bull div there. Yeah, I mean, this is like pretty much an exaggerated bull div, right? It's like the slightest higher low there. 2-day money flow attempting to come up. This would be your macro volume profile. It's kind of just like this huge profile here. Got your low. POC, value area high. So, yeah, I would say, like, your big move here, I mean, definitely don't want to break these lows. But if you continue up, I would say the boom room. Right here. Value area low at $1.06. Flip that to support. That's your big move up, right? And you do have a lack of volume here as well. Let me just pull this back as well. Yes, there's also the POC of pretty much all of this price action. This is your biggest level of resistance. POC value area low. It's the POC of all of your price action as well as the value area low of this lower range or upper range, I should say. So what I would look at is get above this, very, very good sign. And then that would be a high probability move into about $1.71, not financial advice. Flip that POC, push up into the value area high at 263. Take a look at market site for B. I mean, yeah, you just don't really, I mean, you have a little bit of a 4-day bull div there. It's not as clean as I would like to see, but your daily money flow is attempting to come up, crossover into the green. Your 2-day money flow is working its way up there. It's doing its best. It's doing its best. Let's check the 4-hour money flow looking to cross over into the green. So, yeah, I mean, I would say you could continue to kind of bing-bong around here a little bit. But really the big level to get above is right here between $1.06 and $1.14. Flip that to support. You might be on your way to a much bigger move up through the rest of this profile. And if we're going to see Total 3 break that value area low, if we're going to see Bitcoin dominance break out of its value area low, like to the downside, and we're going to see the alt season actually pick up here, I think this is the roadmap to look at. Just understand the boom room, there is a bouncer at the boom room. If you go in there and you start pulling your fib in public outside, he's probably going to reject you, right? So understand, rejections are possible here. Resistance until proven otherwise. Once they let you in and you get support, then you could run into the boom room and do whatever you want. We don't judge what you do in the boom room, right? But once you get in there, you can go and have fun. So there you go. Weird analogies. But anyway, shout out to Noob Dude. I thought that said Nude Dude. And I was like, You might like the boom, boom, room. Anyway, he said hit that like button, guys. Smash that like button if you have not already. BTC headed back to 100K for the close. That would be crazy. For the daily close, that would be wild. 109K, like we have 25 minutes. If Bitcoin dumps 8% in the next 25 minutes, I will give $1,000 to somebody in the chat. I'm just kidding. I mean, not really. I will do that, but I don't think that's going to happen. That would be crazy. Unless that might have been a typo. I feel like that was probably a typo. But yeah. Let's see. 110K. Oh, Keith, it was a typo. I was going to say, Keith, what the heck? Keith's like, I see it. He pulled it away. He's like, no, I said 110 the whole time. And if it's 100K, not 110K, I will give somebody $1,000. But yeah, I would say not possible. Not possible. I mean, hey, daily closes above this 786 would be bullish. Weekly closes would be even better. But overall, guys, if you just tuned in, scrub back to the beginning of the stream to get my full thoughts on Bitcoin. Can we see all-time highs? Can we be headed up to $115,000? I do think it is possible as long as we can stay above that 786 and close those candles up there. And, yeah, if we get pullbacks, you guys know those local levels of support I will be looking at. We covered in the beginning of the stream. Scrub back, watch it from the start, get all the sauce, put it in your Tupperware, and take it to go. But with all that being said, guys, that's all the time I got for today's live stream. We are just in time here, almost like a perfect 2-hour stream, I think. But with all that being said, that's all the time we got for tonight's live stream. I will see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time. I actually do have to be somewhere, so no fake out tonight. I'll see you guys tomorrow, same place, same time, right here, 5:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That's all I got. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong!
Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command, like, yeah, you about to see me on demand, like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't ever going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah, you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the road, here we go, yeah, at the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah, maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the road, here we go, here we go. Here we go. On a roll, here we go, here we go.
We blew up Mrs. Candles, and we sniffed the hand at the same time, guys. Guaranteed pump, not financial advice. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Hasta pasta. Frankie Candles out. Bing bong.